Indeed, on Tuesday, we will mark 100 days since the College of Commissioners took office. 100 days, 1st of December, that feel like a lifetime ago. In between, the world around us is changing at lightning speed. Geopolitical shifts are shaking alliances. Decade-old certainties are crumbling, and we still have a brutal war raging at our borders. Now, despite these turbulent times, this Commission has hit the ground running. From day one, we stayed the course that we had laid out in the political guidelines, building always on the three pillars you're very familiar with. It's prosperity, security, democracy. 100 days into our mandate, we stand by the European choices in the political guidelines, and we doubled down on them. We appointed the first ever Commissioner for Defence, a move that now, 3 months in, feels not just necessary but the right thing at the right time, because we have clearly entered a new era of harsh geostrategic competition. We see that some shut themselves off, sow uncertainties, and strive for short-term gains. I want to be very clear that Europe stays open with partnership and outreach, and we offer what is very important, predictability and stability, valuable features this time. From day one, we engaged in building new partnership and strengthening old ones with countries and regions big and small. As you are aware, we forged landmark agreements with Switzerland, with Mexico, with Mercosur. With Mercosur, we achieved a major breakthrough in the negotiations that lasted more than 2 decades, and we created a market for consumers of 700 million people, while protecting vulnerable sectors. We reignited trade talks with Malaysia. We re-engaged with the CARICOM countries. And in India, the world's largest democracy, which I visited last week with the College of Commissioners, we deepened cooperation on trade, on technology and innovation. I agreed with Prime Minister Modi to aim for a conclusion of the free trade agreement still this year. So for me, forging these partnerships is essential, because we have learned the very hard way that sourcing products we need from partners we trust is the best way to avoid overdependencies or to avoid vulnerabilities and blackmail. And this is, of course, the best way then to build strong economies. Now, all this work, prosperity, security, the democracy, all this work begins at home. And therefore, let us shed a light on what we did at home. First, on prosperity. Since the start of the mandate, we have delivered 8 initiatives to make Europe more competitive, and 3 more are in preparation. We started with the competitiveness compass. As you know, this is the translation of the Draghi report into a Commission communication, basically showing the roadmap ahead of us, our North Star for a stronger, more prosperous Europe. And it works hand in hand with the Clean Industrial Deal, here supporting energy-intensive industries and clean tech, the joint roadmap for decarbonization and competitiveness. And the day we agreed the Clean Industrial Deal in College, I also discussed it with the European industry at the Antwerp Summit. Now, in parallel, we're zooming in on sectors that are key for Europe's industrial base and are undergoing the biggest transitions. So this is the reason why I started engaging directly with agriculture, the agricultural sector. We have now the vision for agriculture. I engaged directly with the automotive industry with a strategic dialogue for the automotive industry that resulted in the action plan. And we started the dialogue with the steel industry, and an action plan on steel will come soon. Others will follow. Other strategic dialogues will follow. In parallel, we are busy cutting red tape. You are aware of the 2 omnibuses that started. And last but certainly not least, this week I signed a new pact for European social dialogue, and we proposed the union of skills because the social market economy is at the heart of the prosperity of the European economy. On all these, the direction of travel was always clear. What has changed in these 100 days is the new sense of urgency. Because something fundamental has shifted. Our European values, democracy, freedom, the rule of law, are under threat. We see that sovereignty, but also ironclad commitments are called into question. Everything has become transactional. So the pace of change has accelerated, and the action that is needed has to be bold and determined. Consequently, this week brought unanimous support for Rearm Europe. You're familiar with the 800 billion package for defense. And that is historic. This can be the foundation of a European defense union. We will drive the Rearm Europe plan forward with full force. The idea behind it is we must unleash the full potential in the face of concrete threats. And if we can team up with other like-minded countries, such as the UK or Norway or Canada, the potential is even greater. And it's important to state that economic strength and Europe's plan to rearm are 2 sides of the same coin. Europe's economic and innovative potential is an asset for its security, but vice versa, you see that Europe's defense efforts can give a massive boost to a more competitive single market in the midterm and in the long term. The upcoming huge investments in Europe's next generation of military equipment and security infrastructure can trigger a powerful tailwind for important industries. Just think of the fast-tracking of digitalization and modernization of the transport networks, or think of the AI applications, quantum computing, secure communication. Think of key technologies like satellite networks, autonomous vehicles, robotics. All of this is on one hand important for Europe's defense, but it is equally important for Europe's competitiveness. SMEs across our union, if you look at those who are in the defense supply chain, 2,500, will be at the heart of this transformation. Now, to be successful, we also need to speed up and involve more private investors. We will launch new omnibus packages to further simplify rules and cut red tape, including in the defense sector. And still this month, we will unveil the European Savings and Investment Union, because only an effective, a deep and liquid capital market can turn the savings into the much, much needed investments. So progress here is no longer a nice to have, it's absolutely a must. In today's world, maintaining Europe as an economic powerhouse is also a matter of collective security. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures, and this is also true for my Commission. To deal with the challenging way ahead, we need to switch into a preparedness mindset. And this is why in the next weeks, I will convene the first ever Security College. This will ensure that the college members receive regular updates on security developments, whether it's internal security or external security, but also energy, defense, research. Think of cyber, trade, foreign interference. Only if we have a very clear and in-depth understanding of the threats, also the threats we call hybrid threats, can we effectively contribute to collective security. Now, everything we have done in these first 100 days has been focused on our biggest challenges. And we will keep up the work. On Tuesday, that is day 100 of this college, we will adopt an ambitious legal proposal on returns. Returns is a key element of the Pact of Migration and Asylum. We will propose common rules for return with the new European return order and mutual recognition of return decisions by member states. So we want to put in place a truly European system for return by proposing a regulation with simpler and clearer rules, preventing absconding, and facilitating the return of third country nationals with no right to stay. Those who are forcibly returned will be issued with an entry ban, and we will be stricter where there are security risks. We will be assertive, but we will also make sure that we will act in full respect of our obligations under international law and fundamental rights. To conclude, the Commission is ready to tackle today's crisis. We need speed, we need scale, we need determination. We have a once-in-a-generation chance to build a stronger, a more prosperous, a more secure Europe. So let's seize the moment because it's Europe's moment. Thank you very much.